an amazing film. Can I ask, what were the main differences for you between the book and the film, and what did you want to bring out in the book, in the movie?
Well, literature and cinema are two different mediums, two different languages, and when I read the book, I could see a movie, and that's why I kind of chased it and wanted to adapt it all. I spent a long time trying to get them to give it to me. There's so many changes, and there's so many additions to the book, but I think the heart and soul of the book is intact. I think the spirit of the book is intact. The author of the book, told me after she saw the movie that she spent the day weeping because she felt like she was understood. And so to me, that was like a real stamp of approval that meant a lot to me because I loved her writing.
At the screening room I was in, there were a lot of people weeping in that. Is that an emotion that you wanted to get out in the audience?
Well, I don't know if I wanted to get it out. I know that when I first read the book, I remember I was on a subway train in New York City during rush hour, and my face was melting from tears. And I was so embarrassed to be crying in front of everyone. But I thought to myself that if anyone else was reading what I was reading, they would be feeling the same way I was feeling. So I really used that as my North Star when I was making the movie, and just try to make it as honest, emotionally honest as I possibly could. And some people cry, some people don't cry. You don't need to cry to enjoy the film. You need to kind of go into the movie emotionally open, to kind of to let it wash over you.
It's an incredible location that you've got in the movie. Yeah. Were you worried at all about finding somewhere that perfect for it?
Oh yeah, I spent 6 months trying to find the perfect location. What was really important to me is that we found a location that was isolated so that we could live there and kind of shoot our life on the island. And I found this place, Cape Campbell in New Zealand, that was an hour and a half away down a bumpy dirt road from the nearest civilization. And I convinced my actors and I convinced the studio to let me shoot there with a very small crew, and we basically just lived it. And I think what the film is a witness of our life for those 5 weeks. And for me it was just a gift because I was able to share my 5 weeks on that island with two of the greatest actors of our generation, and I feel blessed.
How open were they to that idea of working in isolation, and how did you go about finding them for the movie?
When I first asked Michael to live on the island with me or live on the lighthouse location with me, he said no, and I told him, I said, look, Michael, you're a great actor. I can't make you any better. I can't whisper something in your ear to make a light bulb go off. I said, but what I can give you as an actor is an experience. So if you follow me down this path, I'll give you an experience. And he said, okay, I'll give you a night. And that night turned into 5 weeks. And at the end of the 5 weeks, I had to pull him, almost kicking and screaming from the location. So it was magic. It was a magic time. And I adapted the screenplay thinking about Michael for the role, and then. For Isabel, I was thinking of Vivian Lee from Gone with the Wind, and Jenna Rollins from Woman Under the Influence, and Emily Watson from Breaking the Waves. And then I found Alicia, and she took over.
Mm-hmm. And something for people who are going to watch the film is also Rachel Weisz character, which is very crucial. Again, how did you find her, and what was important about that role in terms of how the characters progress?
Yeah, so Rachel was actually supposed to do Blue Valentine for a couple of years. One of my earlier films, it was going to be Rachel and Jeremy Renner, but we just couldn't get the money together. But I always wanted to work with her, and this just felt like the right time to do it. She plays a mother who's just grieving the loss of her child, and in that grief, she never gives up hope that she'll find her again. And when she does find her, she's not the same child she was when she lost her in the first place. And so she's a woman who has to go through a lot of conflicting emotions about who to blame for this, and she has to learn to accept kind of the new child and the other experiences the child has had. So it's an incredibly difficult role, and her journey is all about forgiveness in this film, and I think that's a beautiful thing to kind of put out into our world right now, is a message of forgiveness.
Excellent. I absolutely agree. Thank you so much. Pleasure. Thank you.
Man. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys.
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey You Guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey